you can see the flowchart in the slide. This is the methodology for applying the DFMA concepts. So the first thing to produce a product is to come up with a design idea. Then based on the idea, you have to decide how to implement the idea, that is the parts required, and also the assembly of the parts. Then you can see in the right side, then you can see arrow to the right, the suggestions for simplification of a product structure. So you make sure that the design idea you have come up with is optimized. Okay. So next, going on, and after the design concept, you select the materials required and the process to be done to attain the product. Then it is analyzed whether the material you have selected is economical and it also satisfies the product's performance criteria. So based on the above analysis, you come up with a best and optimized design concepts. That is the fourth step, best design concept. So you have based on the first four flowcharts, you come up with a concept where you refine the concepts to be more and more optimized. So you come up with an idea that is the best possible concept or a best possible design idea you have come up with. So based on this concept, you are entering into the manufacturing sector. So there it deals with the machinery to process the product. So for normal operations, for example, you have gotten the best design concept. To manufacture it, you have to come up with the machinery that needs to be involved to manufacture the product. So for example, if you are using a lathe machine for for producing a rod or type of a simple product, you can use a simple standard lathe machines for doing the product. So instead of that, if you are using the special machines to do the simple operations, it deals with the increase in the cost, that is the manufacturing cost. So in order to avoid the cost, more cost, you have to come up with the machineries that can be used, that is the standard, that can be used for standard properties. So after the manufacturing, you produce a single prototype. Model of the product is manufactured, then it is tested for the product application, and if it satisfies, then it goes for the mass production of the product. So this flow chart shows the methodology of the DFMA concepts. First, you come up with an idea. Based on this idea, you simplify or you invent some simplifications inside the concept so that the product you are going to manufacture is full optimized in every way possible. Okay. You can see at the bottom there is a Tata 45X concept car. This is not a product produced. It is a concept car which is applied by the Tata by using. Here see the advantages of DFMA. Okay. First, we have to deal with what is the current scenario of the products we are producing. Here you can see today's products are tending to become more complex. Here, complex means the number of parts involved in a product. By applying the DFMA, we can reduce the number of parts involved in it. Next, the second one, may or required in increasingly large number. So demand for a product is always more. So when we manufacture a product or a part in large numbers, so that it satisfies the customer requirements all over the world. Next, intended to satisfy a wide variation in the user population. So the product you manufacture should satisfy the people all over the world. So you have to produce a product based on the requirements of the people in different places. Okay. The fourth point, required to compete aggressively with the similar products. You are not the only one that's going to produce a product. So you have to produce a product that compete with the same product that is produced by the competing organizations. Okay. So next, last one, required to consistently high quality. You have to produce a product that has a higher quality. So if you produce a higher quality product, the customers tend to become regular. I mean, customers tend to select your product more other than the others. Okay. So next one. See, not only reduces the manufacturing costs, also reduces the time to market and quality. As you have seen the methodology of the DFMA in the previous slide, we have to you can see by reducing the number of parts involved in it, we can also reduce the manufacturing cost and also the time it takes to assemble, so that the product gets easy. Time consumption is less. Okay. Next one, provides a systematic procedure. Here we have to follow a certain procedure so that the DFMA concept that we apply gives a more sophisticated and optimized product. Next one, reduction of number of parts reduces the cost and inventory. As we have already discussed it, so whenever the products or the parts are reduced, the time taken to produce a product gets reduced, and the time taken to assemble the parts is reduced. So whenever there is a reduction in the parts, or whenever there is a number of parts involved in a product is reduced, the cost involved in is reduced, and the time involved in is reduced, and we can produce this optimized product. Okay. Last one, encouraging the dialogue between designer and the manufacturing engineer. Here the designer and manufacturer will have a detailed discussion about the product. Okay. Then moving on to the next slide. This slide shows the companies that are applying the DFMA concepts. For example, Boeing, McDonald's, Ford, Hyundai, Nissan. These are the bigger organizations that are applying the DFMA concepts in every product they manufacture. Okay. Here is the next slide that shows the reasons for not implementing DFMA. No, first one, no time. No time means there is no time to convert to DFMA concepts. Some companies have been following a procedure for decades, and they don't want to change that. Second one, not invented here. That idea doesn't come from the company that is producing products for a decade. So they don't want to go. They don't want to convert into a new method. Third one, the ugly baby syndrome. It means, for example, some companies feel that by applying the DFMA concepts, the product they produce may look repulsive. That is, its aesthetic properties are not good enough. So, and because of that, the market would be gone. The market would be down for the product. So the time and the effort spent for the product would also be wasted. So they avoid using the DFMA concepts. Low cost, next, low cost assembly, low volume. Database doesn't apply to our product because everyone have been following the same process for a decade that is stored in the database. They don't want to apply interpret some new database for their manufacturing sector. Seventh one, we have been doing it for years. So they have been following the traditional method for producing a product. Then they don't want to indulge some new process into that. It is only value analysis. Ninth one, only one among many techniques. For example, if you see, there are many techniques like DFMA, for instance, like Six Sigma. Various operational research programmings are there for implementing. But Uh, so only some companies find other techniques suitable. So when there is many techniques like DFMA, companies go for other techniques. They think that is better than the DFMA. That is why this is also a reason for not implementing DFMA. Next one, 10th one, DFMA leads to products that are difficult to service. Here it means when for example, instead of using many parts, some might merge the parts with one another. So while servicing it, it might be difficult to disassemble. So by merging of two parts, it always be easier to assemble it. But when time for service, you have to disassemble the part and then you have to service it. So at that time, it will be more difficult to disassemble it.